Okay, this video is on the Ark of the Covenant. Found. It's found. I know I've seen a lot of videos or I've heard a lot of speculation of where it's at. And if we look in Revelation 11:19, we find it. I know I did a video on this before, but I'm just simplifying it this time. And there's a lot of videos like this coming. So just these short, simple videos. If they're confusing, just let me know in the comments where you're confused, and I'll get back to you on that. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep these things simple. All right, so Revelation 11:19. And the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and earthquakes and great hail. Okay, so how can we know the ark of the testament is the ark of the covenant? Well, that's what this decode is all about. So let's find out, let's see how the ark of the testament can be associated to the ark of the covenant. Now, let's see what a covenant is in the first place. Okay? Okay, a strong, solemn agreement between two parties. In the Bible, a covenant is a strong, solemn agreement between two parties. Biblical covenants are different from the kinds of agreements we make nowadays, as they make two into one. When the two parties make a covenant in the Bible, they are joined together, identified with each other. Okay, we get the idea. So it's an agreement. So some kind of legal documentation, so to speak, right? All right, let's see how that's used in the Bible. We'll donate later. How about that? Okay. All right, so all these verses is where the Ark of the Covenant is used. So I just typed in the blue letter Bible search, and all these verses came up. So that's where all this stuff comes from. You just type in a word, and then lo and behold, it gives you all the associations in the Bible and the amount of times they're used and all that stuff. And you can go into them, and you can get the Hebrew and all that stuff. The Strong's numbers as well. Okay, so we can see that the Ark of the Covenant was used. The last mention of it is in Hebrews 9:4. And we know that Hebrews 9:4 is associated to the Old Testament, right? So the apostles begin the New Testament. So Hebrews 9:4 is the last mention of the Ark of the Covenant, and it's found in the Old Testament. Okay? And testament itself, the word testament sounds a lot like testimony, right? Let's see what a testimony is. All right, a testimony in the Bible means a witness or evidence of God's revelation of himself and his expectations for his people. So a testament is a witness or evidence, right? Or a testimony. I'm sorry to say. Um, a testimony, just like when you go to court, you testify, right? It's a statement of, or a verbal statement. It's an eyewitness, um, or you can provide evidence. It's the same thing applies for the Bible. It's just a witness or evidence. Okay, let's see how that's used in the Bible. Let's see what it's associated with. So I just typed in testimony right here, and these are all the verses that pop up. Okay, so Moses and Aaron laid up before the testimony to be kept. Okay, and thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. Exodus 25:21. The ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. Okay, so if you just breeze through these, testimony is usually associated with the ark of the testimony, the ark of the testimony. And remember, I only put testimony up here. I didn't put the ark of the testimony. So we know by studying the Bible gives us the keys, right? So we know testimony is directly associated to the ark. It doesn't say Johnny gave his testimony or he was in court testifying. It's the testimony, even though it is very legal. It's a legal, God's legal association. But it's directly connected to the ark. Exodus 31, the ark of the testimony. 2 tables of the testimony, right? The 2 tables are the 10 Commandments. 2 tables of the testimony were in his hand. The tables were written on both of their sides. One of the sides, and yeah. So we get the idea, right? So let's go a little bit further. Let's see what testament means, right? So that's what we're looking for. Let's go back to Revelation. Revelation, the ark of his testament. Why is he using the ark of his testament? And I even put that in blue letter, and this is the only place you'll find it. The ark of his testament. All right. So let's see what a testament is. A covenant or agreement, just like the ark of the covenant, correct? Okay. In the Bible, a testament is a covenant or agreement. The Bible is divided into 2 major portions: the Mosaic or Old Covenant or dispensation, and the Christian or New Covenant or dispensation. So right here we know that there's an Old Testament point of view and a New Testament. And the last time we see the Ark of the Covenant is in the Old Testament. And we know the blood of Christ, now we're in the New Testament, correct? So let's put in testament. Okay, that's the only place you'll see the ark and testament together, right? Is in that first Revelation verse. But I just put testament into it. Just testament, not ark of the testament. All right, let's see the associations connected to testament. All right, see how it's used in the Bible, because you get the clues from the verses, right? Just how we saw in the last one, we saw the ark was directly connected to testimony. This one, we see that the blood is directly connected to the testament. For this is my blood of the New Testament. This is my blood of the New Testament. This is the cup of my New Testament in my blood. Right? This is the cup of the New Testament. My blood, blood, blood. Okay? So we know that the testament, we have enough verses to solidify that the blood is associated to the testament. Okay? So that brings us back to Revelation 11:19. So now we know that all of this is just legalistic talk, biblically speaking, of course. So the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. The reason why the testament is used here instead of the covenant, because the last time we saw the ark of the covenant was in the Old Testament. This is after Christ shed his blood, which is the New Testament. Hence, it became the ark of his testament. And we are saved by the blood of Christ. And all those who believe in the blood are saved. And the ark of this testament is like Mr. 9mm, right? It's coming to guide us and shepherd us through the valley of darkness. The ark of his testament and the legal documents that are inside of it guide our protection, right? We're protected under it. That's what that means. All right? Any questions or comments? Leave them in the comment section. And if you haven't been saved, get saved. Let me pull up some salvation verses, and I'm pretty sure you already know some. Um, I pull them up all the time. You know what? Let's just do it. Since we're on the blood, right? We see the importance of it. Go to my favorite page. It's very simplified. Right here. So, and if you have any questions about being saved or getting baptized, leave them in the comments, and I'll get to you. I'll get a hold of you or something. So let me know, and I'll help you. Right? These are some salvation verses, Romans 10:9, that if thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus Christ, and shalt believe in thine heart that God had raised him from the dead, thou shalt be saved. Don't forget to believe in the blood, because it's important. Thank you for watching.